So, you've received your OET results, but they weren't quite what you were hoping for, and now you're wondering what you should do next. In this video, I'm going to answer the question, should you apply for a remark of your OET test? Let's begin then and help you decide, should you request remarking for your OET exam? We're going to begin by talking about exactly what is involved when you request remarking. Firstly, you will have to pay a fee, and that fee is 120 Australian dollars if you took the paper test. If you took the computer-based test, you'll pay 95 US dollars. Your request for remarking must be made within 72 hours from your results being released. So once you've seen your results, you'll have 72 hours to decide whether or not you want to request a remark. You'll then have to wait 3 to 6 weeks to receive the outcome, so there is a short waiting period. If there is a grade change, the fee is refunded to you. However, if the grade stays the same, you will not receive that money back. And please keep in mind that when you request remarking, your score may go up, but it may also go down, so it's important to be aware of that before you make the request. Let's start then by talking about the speaking and writing tests. Now, remarking is only recommended if you feel confident that your performance deserved a higher score than the one you received. So that is the case for speaking and writing. For reading and listening, on the other hand, these tests are marked by a computer. Therefore, we generally do not recommend requesting a remark, as it's very unlikely that your scores will change. Computer-marked tests are generally very, very accurate, so it's not really worthwhile requesting a remark because it's unlikely that your scores will change at all. Now let's talk about some reasons why you might want to request remarking for the writing or speaking subtest. Firstly, your scores in previous practice tests were high, so you went into the exam already achieving more or less the scores that you needed to achieve. And you feel confident that your performance in the test deserved a higher score than the one that you received. Also, your score was already reasonably high, so if you received quite a low score, there's not really much point in requesting a remark because even if it does go up, it's unlikely to go up enough to get the score that you need. So for this reason, we only recommend a request for remarking in writing or speaking if you were already very close to achieving your desired score. Remember, if your grade does go up, it's unlikely to go up by a lot, so you already need to be quite close before you make that request. Now let's talk about some reasons not to request remarking. Firstly, it's expensive, so you do have to pay a fee, and if your grade doesn't change, you do not receive that money back. It's not guaranteed that your scores will go up, so a lot of people, I think, can be tempted to request that remarking in the hope that their score will go up, but this is no guarantee. There is also a chance that your scores might go down. Also, reading and listening scores very rarely change, so for this reason, it's really not recommended to request remarking for these two subtests. Now let's look at an example scenario in which you might want to request remarking. You achieved C+, so a score of 340 in OET Writing, but you need a B grade. Now, a 340 is already quite close to the B grade boundary. You got Bs in every other subtest, and in your most recent writing practice test before the real exam, your teacher feedback suggested that your letters met the criteria for a B grade. So you went into the exam quite confident that you were capable of achieving that grade. And you felt that the writing test went well, and you're confident that your letter was a B grade standard. In this scenario, it might be worth requesting a remark of your writing test. Now let's take a look at another scenario. You achieved a C+, a score of 310 in OET Speaking, but you need a B grade. Now, a 310 is not particularly close to the B grade boundary. In your speaking practice tests, your teacher feedback suggested that you sometimes met the criteria for a C+ level and sometimes a B. So going into the exam, you were close to a B grade, but it wasn't always consistent. And you felt that the speaking test went well, but you weren't quite sure if you did well enough to get a grade B. So you were quite nervous, maybe you made some mistakes. In this situation, it probably isn't worth requesting a remark of your speaking test because you're not close to receiving a B grade and you're not confident that you deserved that grade in the real speaking test. So let's recap then and answer the question, should you get your test remarked? Remarking for reading and listening is not recommended as your score is very unlikely to change. Remarking for writing and speaking is only recommended if you are close to the grade boundary and you feel confident that you deserved a higher score. So that's it for this video. I really hope that you found it useful and you now have a better idea of whether or not OET remarking is the best option for you. Now, if you are in that position where you have failed your OET exam and you need to take it again, then Swoosh English can help you. We have a number of OET preparation courses for every type of student. In your course, you'll see things like mock exams, writing corrections, live classes, and much more. So I really do encourage you to head on over to our website, that's www.swooshenglish.com, and take a look at our OET exam preparation courses. In the meantime, thank you so much for joining me, everyone. I will see you very soon for more OET content. Goodbye.